Maldives President Mohamed Muizzue has addressed the Delhi Core Committee meeting's outcomes in his inaugural speech. He has spoken about the deadlines of the replacement of the Indian military troops from Maldives. India and Maldives held talks last week amid Mali's demand for the withdrawal of all Indian military personnel from the archipelago. Muizzue asked India to withdraw its troops by March 15th during the first high-level meet between the two countries. He addressed a largely empty parliament as two key opposition parties of Maldives decided to boycott Muizzue's presidential address amid his anti-India stance. So, of course, viewers, the latest developments now coming in from Maldives. We're learning that the two opposition parties, in fact, chose not to show up for Muizzue's parliamentary speech. Meanwhile, joining us on the broadcast is my colleague Ajay Jandial. Ajay, if you could take our viewers through the latest developments that are coming in at this point of time.
Well, the latest statement which Muizzue has given in the parliament that indicates that there are still, conflicts between the two countries, and after the recent basically happening after statement against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they have already said so that Indian military forces has to vacate their land, and now he has given that till March they have to move back to their country. That indicates that things are still there at the same, but it seems that Maldives' new government and Prime Minister, he's influenced by the Chinese government, and that's why this is happening. But see, talks are still underway. There are possibility that some result will come out in this regard.
Right, absolutely, Ajay. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast and sharing those details with our viewers. Meanwhile, joining us on the broadcast at this point of time is Group Captain UK Devnath Defence Expert. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you so much for speaking to us on NewsX. Now, of course, what we are learning at this point of time is that Muizzue was in fact addressing a largely empty parliament. He did in fact brush upon the Delhi Core Committee meeting and the outcomes in his inaugural speech, wherein he has spoken. Of course, the first time when they spoke, the first meeting that happened, they outlined a deadline of March 15th. But what we're learning at this point of time is that now they've switched it to end of May. What does that mean for Muizzue? What's going to happen? Of course, there's also elections that are coming up in Maldives. All right, I think we've lost our connection over there. Let's quickly shift our focus to some more news coming in. But before we do that, viewers, of course, lots and lots of developments taking place in Maldives. Of that, the latest development that is coming in is that the Maldives President Mohamed Muizzue has addressed the Delhi Core Committee meeting outcomes in his inaugural speech. He's, of course, spoken about the deadlines of the replacement of the Indian military from Maldives. India and Maldives held talks last week amid Mali's demand for the withdrawal of all Indian military personnel from the archipelago. Muizzue asked India to withdraw its troops by March 15th during the first level meet between the two countries. He's addressed, in fact, a largely empty parliament as two key opposition parties of Maldives decided to boycott Muizzue's presidential address. Meanwhile, in fact, joining us on the broadcast is Group Captain UK Devnath Defence Expert. Good afternoon, sir. What we are, of course, talking about is how Muizzue is now facing a boycott, but, he's amidst a completely, largely empty parliament. He's, in fact, spoken about the outcomes from the India Core Committee meeting that was held last week. Now we're, in fact, learning during the earlier core meeting, the date that was outlined to withdraw the troops was March 15th, and now they've extended it to March, in fact, not even March, they've extended it to May. What do you make of all of these developments coming in, especially acknowledging the fact that they have elections coming up very, very soon?
Yes, President Muizzue is still maintaining his anti-India stance. Very delicate very delicate time between India and Maldives. relations with Maldives have historically been very, very positive, very, very healthy, very, very strong bonding between both the countries. This time also, Nirmala Sitharaman, while presenting the budget, has reflected almost 600 crore rupees worth of aid for Maldives in this financial year. In fact, sources are telling me that if all goes well, then our aid to Maldives in the final budget in Indian Parliament, which will come in July, the aid to Maldives may be increased up to 750 crore rupees. But President Muizzue still remains adamant. Opposition is boycotting him. They are not attending his sermons, so as to speak, and probably some kind of a action is already underway to bring in some kind of a vote of confidence in him, against him. So Maldives President Muizzue remains defiant, but government of India is very sure that with some talks behind the scene, one delegation for Maldives is in Delhi even now, things will improve. It remains to be seen whether these 87 people are actually withdrawn, because all of them are technicians. They do not carry their weapons there. They are technicians who are maintaining our flying platforms like helicopter and Dornier aircraft there. So Muizzue government should soon see the healthier side of it, because these are in aid of civilian administration of Maldives. He is also being threatened by opposition parties with a motion of impeachment. His situation is very delicate, very precarious. So sometimes he tries to project him as a strong man. But this tactic of Muizzue will not work, and finally he will have to become a good friend of India. Yes.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.